Barbara Streisand. 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 Barbara Streisand.
Good morning. Distinguished guests, parents, alumni, faculty, trustees, friends, family, and fellow graduates, it is my honor to welcome you all to the 2011 Class Day ceremony. My name is Nell Diamond.
I'm Kristen Davila.
And I'm Nikhil Basu Trivedi.
And we are your 2011 Class Day chairs. Class Day dates back to as early as 1856, and in 1898 it was described as a day over which the graduating class has full charge and which we run to suit ourselves in our own characteristic way. We are here to celebrate outstanding achievements, to welcome honorary class members, and to share one last moment all together before we exit through Fitzrandolph Gate.
It is almost 10 years to the date since our first speaker took office as Princeton University's 19th president. Since she was also my thesis advisor in the molecular biology department, I'm going to take this opportunity to ask her what I suspect many of you would like to ask your advisors. My oral defense grade was a B+? Seriously? I thought as president you were above the grade deflation rules. To get things started, please join me in welcoming President Shirley M. Tilghman.
Good morning. I'm delighted to be with all of you this morning on Cannon Green and to share the occasion with someone who has shone on many stages and screens in the course of her career, Brooke Shields of the great class of 1987. When the Daily Princetonian describes God as Princeton's most prominent alumnus after Brooke Shields, class of '87, you know that our speaker, actress, author, and advocate has made a lasting impression on our university community and on the world beyond our gates. Thank you, Brooke, for joining us today, and welcome home. Now, during the last 4 years, as I have aggressively pursued my war on fun, it's often been said that my policies are infantilizing, as if that's a bad thing. Well, this may be the last time I can offer you all some frank advice from Mama Tillman. Your gestation in this orange bubble is about to come to an abrupt end. And in one day, you're going to be facing the cruel world outside our gates. Now, I know something about the cruel world. After all, I lived in Philly, where people cheer while Eagles fans throw snowballs at Santa Claus. With that breadth of experience, I feel compelled to give you some suggestions about how to make this transition from the orange bubble to the outside world. For example, outside the bubble, you will not be rewarded for doing your work with free kettle corn and pancake breakfasts at daybreak. You will be rewarded by not being fired. Summer will come, and you will just keep going to the office. No university-funded research on sustainable restaurants in Ibiza, or self-directed photography projects in Madagascar. Just air-conditioned subways and the faint hope of getting a half-day off on the Friday before the 4th of July weekend. Get used to it. Now let's talk a minute about your vocabulary. When you say, some totally random guy sat down next to me in precept, it's not random. You are a Princeton student. He's a Princeton student. You're both at Princeton. On occasion, you should expect to find yourself in a classroom with another Princeton student. It is simply not random. Now, some other shocks to the system. You need to be prepared to accept that setbacks like the ones you may have experienced at the hands of Dean Degnan will no longer be considered UN-level human rights violations. You may have to go outside to access a laundry machine. It may even require quarters. And I am positive it will not text you when your cycle is over. Using printers, getting massages, and going on trips to the Galapagos Islands actually cost money in the real world. Gone is the excuse that you don't work out because there are too many sketchy old people at the gym. You will actually be one of those old sketchy people. And hopefully, the next time you silence a bunch of Harvard students chanting, "I believe that we will win," you will be wearing something other than full-body orange lycra suits on national TV. Although I would like to thank Andrew Kerr and Glenn Walcom for including backpacks. For including backpacks as part of their ensemble, a sign of their unwavering dedication to their studies. So I stand here confident that you, armed with this last-minute advice, will be able to flourish and thrive in the brave new world. We are proud to have you carry the university name to the farthest reaches of the upper and east and west sides of Manhattan. And know that like Peter Pan's Neverland, Princeton will forever be a refuge from the adult world. We will always be here waiting with a free orange t-shirt and annual giving pledge cards in hand, ever ready to welcome you home. So go forth and puncture the bubble. Be in the nation's service and the service of all nations. Change the world and live up to every commencement cliche I will utter in the next 24 hours. Make us proud, class of 2011. It is now my pleasure, as it is each year, to present your new class president, Jonathan Gary, with the key to our campus. Jonathan, where are you? There you are. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Oh, stay here. In addition to being impossible to misplace, this key entitles all of you to participate fully in the life of your alma mater. Specifically, it will allow you to visit our campus in person, online, or through the pages of the Princeton Alumni Weekly as often as you like. Join a global network of alumni associations, clubs, and committees stretching from New York to Singapore. And enjoy round-the-clock access to Princeton's endowment, but only to make deposits. Sorry about that. Nevertheless, please use this key as often as you can. My warmest wishes go with you all.
Appreciate it.
Y'all know who this next guy is. You're always getting his emails. According to Facebook, he hails from Allentown, Pennsylvania. One of his favorite movies is A Beautiful Mind, and one of his favorite books is Anna Karenina. This means he actually claims to have read and enjoyed Anna Karenina. Nobody believes you, Alex. Without further ado, I present our dear leader, the 2011 senior class president, Alex Rosen.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Princeton University great class of 2011, it is my pleasure to begin with this very happy announcement. Effective immediately after this speech, there will be no more class-wide emails spamming your inbox. Please do not hold your applause. I'm just as happy as you are. Honestly, I'm not even that nervous about giving this speech. If you guys treat my speech like you treat my class emails, then I'm pretty sure that 83% of you are just going to ignore them anyway. The 17% that pay attention are pretty much just Woody Woo majors or members of Tower Club. Oh wait, that's redundant. In all seriousness, I do have an important announcement to make. 1,147 members of our class have pledged to donate to annual giving, which is the highest total number of pledges in Princeton history. This gives us an overall percentage participation rate of 94.0, which is the second highest percentage participation rate in history. Unfortunately, we actually fell just one person short of breaking the all-time... Never mind. Class of 2011, we have just broken the all-time senior class annual giving record. I had prepared a completely hilarious speech for class day, but I had to submit it in advance to Dean Malkiel for approval. And she told me that only 35% of my speech is allowed to be hilarious. The rest could just be mildly amusing, so bear with me. I'm sure some of the psychology majors among you realize what I just did. I lowered your expectations, using speech deflation as my excuse. And now, as we prepare to exit Fitz-Randolph Gate tomorrow, I realize that possibly one of the greatest gifts that Princeton has given us is grade deflation. Dean Malkiel has allowed us unrestricted access to what is undoubtedly the single best excuse in the history of liberal arts education. How many times have we explained to our parents that a 3.1 GPA at Princeton is equivalent to a 3.8 at Dartmouth? Or a 4.2 at Yale? It doesn't matter if that doesn't mathematically make sense, you tell them, that's grade deflation. Need to justify to a potential employer why you didn't graduate with more A's? Easy. It's because of grade deflation. If you run for public office and some old pictures from 2 articles of clothing night threaten to cause a scandal, I can explain, you'll say. I deserve to party harder because I went to Princeton in the time of grade deflation. So if we should be thanking Dean Malkiel for giving us such an adaptable, ready-made excuse for the rest of our lives, who else then can we blame for low grades? Raymond Sue, can you stand up? Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the moderator of PrincetonFML.com. He also deflated our GPAs. Do you know how much time our class wasted on that website? I got the actual statistics. These are real. Since it started in November 2009, that's just 18 months ago, Princeton FML has accumulated over 2.6 million page views. And unfortunately, we can't just say that there must have been a small pocket of really obsessive users, because over 54% of visitors have been to that website 101 times or more. Actually, that's pretty awesome. I don't mean to say that Princeton FML has been completely a bad thing. It does give us a pretty accurate look inside campus culture. For example, in the springtime, there might be a lot of posts about wearing pink gingham Oxford shirts, or robin's egg blue linen shorts, or ribbon belts. For the guests who are visiting campus for the first time, that is a man's outfit. Princeton's campus culture also has a pretty vibrant bro element. Frat tank tops have become an accepted staple of our wardrobes, and it's pretty common to form bromances or to call our friends broski or brosef. After graduation, though, we'll probably have to refrain from our habit of inserting the word bro into other words. I doubt our colleagues at McKinsey will find it humorous or cool if we introduce ourselves as a brosultant with friends who work at Broman Sachs. Even Broam Chomsky wouldn't endorse this mutation of the English language, and he is a totally chill linguist. But our Princeton experience has been so much more than preppy clothes and bro-ish behavior. Our time together has been defined by superior academics, stimulating extracurricular activities, and the beginnings of lifelong friendships. We have shared pre-raids and P-raids, late meal and WA runs, intramural dodgeball tournaments and Ivy League championships, student performances and lawn parties concerts, the freshman formal and senior class pub nights, outdoor action and indoor action on the TI dance floor. We have learned from our professors, we have learned from our experiences, and we have learned from each other. Princeton has given us quite a gift, and now each of us has a responsibility to make the most of our respective talents and to change the world for the better. Although I am sad to leave, I am excited to see the great things that the Princeton class of 2011 does in the future. Thank you to our families and friends. Thank you to our professors and advisors for all you have done to support us and to help us grow. And to my classmates, what an amazing 4 years it has been. I have loved every minute of it, and I am forever grateful to all of you for allowing me to serve as class president. On behalf of all the class officers, Michael Pearl, Jonathan Gary, Shayna Lee, and EJ Chi, I'd like to thank you all for being such an amazing class to serve. It's been a tremendous privilege. Best of luck to all of you in the years to come, and see you at reunions.
Thank you, Alex. Our next speaker is the Dean of Undergraduate Students, Kathleen Degnan, who will present our first Class Day Awards.
It is customary during Class Day festivities to acknowledge the winners of the Moses Taylor Pine Honor Prize, awarded annually to that member of the senior class who has most clearly manifested scholarship, strength of character, and effective leadership in support of Princeton University. The Pine Prize, which is the highest honor the university confers upon an undergraduate, was presented this year at Alumni Day to Alex Rosen and Amelia Thompson DeVoe. Alex and Amelia, would you please stand so that we can recognize your accomplishments? The Alan Macy Dulles Class of 51 Service Award. An alumnus of the class of 1951 generously endowed this award to honor his classmate, Alan Macy Dulles, who, seriously injured in the Korean War, set an example of selflessness and courage that are the spirit of this prize. The official description of the award is as follows: presented each year to the senior whose activities while a Princeton student best represent or exemplify Princeton in the nation's service and in the service of all nations. The Alan Macy Dulles Class of 51 Award is presented this year to Ben Oseroff. Ben, a Near Eastern Studies major from Buffalo, New York, will also receive a certificate in creative writing. He is described by those who know him well as a generous person with a generous commitment to helping others. He has made a significant difference in the lives of so many Princeton students, not only through structured activities, but also informal interactions. His record of service is outstanding. Members of the class may know him best as an outdoor action leader-trainer, where he has demonstrated not only a mastery of technical outdoor skills, first aid, leadership, and group dynamics, but also the ability to teach and mentor others as they acquire these skills. Ben is also co-founder of the Round Table, a student group that comes together to discuss the morality and ethics of local, national, and international topics. In this role, Ben has shown tact and sensitivity in discussing difficult and controversial topics. Off campus, his contributions have been equally meaningful. He has worked for several years as a tutor with the Petey Green Prisoner Assistance Program in Trenton, and has been a member of the Grand Challenges Global Health Research Collective, which seeks solutions to the pressing problems posed by infectious disease around the globe, in particular the AIDS epidemic. Ben worked in Jordan last summer on an international internship program for Endeavor Global, a nonprofit organization pioneering a new approach to global development by stimulating and supporting entrepreneurship in emerging countries. Please join me in congratulating Ben Osseroff. The Frederick Douglass Service Award, established in 1969 by the Association of Black Collegians, is awarded annually to a senior who has exhibited courage, leadership, intellectual achievement, and a willingness to contribute unselfishly towards a deeper understanding of the experience of racial minorities, and who, in so doing, reflects the tradition of service embodied in a Princeton education. This year's winner of the Frederick Douglass Award is Margaret Harris. Margaret hails from Newport News, Virginia. She is an English major who will be receiving certificates in African American Studies and in the program for teacher preparation. During her years at Princeton, she has been deeply involved with the Princeton Association of Black Women and the Black Student Union. She has served as the coordinator of PUMP, the Princeton University Mentoring Program, and as a senior coordinator for LAMP, the Leadership and Mentoring Program. As senior coordinator, she recruited, hired, and trained other students and worked to develop a comprehensive program for supporting underrepresented populations on our campus. In addition to handling all the many logistical details connected to these programs, she coordinated the social and academic support programs in collaboration with the Carl Fields Center and the McGraw Center for Teaching and Learning. Margaret is also very involved with the Princeton University Preparatory Program, helping high-achieving, low-income students prepare for college. She worked last summer as a teaching assistant in that program, mentoring rising high school sophomores. Margaret has been active in several religious organizations on campus, most notably Princeton Faith and Action and the Hallelujah Worship Committee. She sings with the Gospel Ensemble, performs with the High Steppers, and works in the Office of Religious Life. She also enjoys working with children and volunteers with the SVC. Margaret has been a leader since arriving at Princeton and will continue her service to others as a teacher following graduation. Please join me in a warm round of applause for Margaret. The Harold Willis Dodds Award is an annual award established in 1957 to be given to the senior who best embodies the high example set by Harold Willis Dodds during his tenure as 15th president of Princeton University, particularly in the qualities of clear thinking, moral courage, a patient and judicious regard for the opinions of others, and a thoroughgoing devotion to the welfare of the university and to the life of the mind. This year's winner of the Harold Willis Dodds Award is Elizabeth Borges. Lizzie, a psychology major from Washington, D.C., will also receive a certificate in American Studies. She has been a strong and visible leader at Princeton. As a member of the Alcohol Coalition Committee and later as its co-chair, Lizzie led a campus dialogue around the issue of high-risk drinking. She co-chaired the Alcohol Policy Group and planned a 2-day leaders symposium enlisting the participation of a diverse group of students. In addition, she represented Princeton students in numerous meetings with local community agencies and representatives. Lizzie has also been an active student leader within the LGBT community and has been a conscientious and steady voice for equality and acceptance. She has taken active stands against bias and discrimination, and among her many efforts was a prominent role in the It Gets Better Princeton video. Lizzie has been a sustained dialogue moderator since her freshman year and has also authored the Independent Student Guide, an online resource for approximately 350 independent students. Her work off campus is equally impressive. She participated in Health, Politics, and Food in New Jersey, a community-based learning initiative that examined how food availability affects the urban poor. In addition, she has served an internship as an advocacy assistant at Bread for the City, an agency whose mission is to provide vulnerable residents of Washington, D.C. with comprehensive services, including food, clothing, medical care, and legal and social services in an atmosphere of dignity and respect. Please join me in thanking and congratulating Lizzie Borges. The next two awards are voted by the members of the senior class. The Class of 1901 Medal is awarded to the senior who, in the judgment of the students' classmates, has done the most for Princeton. Founded in 1920 by the Class of 1901, which, in 1952, endowed in perpetuity and stipulated that thereafter the medal be awarded in memory of its classmate, Walter E. Hope, who originated the prize. The next prize, the W. Sanderson Detweiler 1903 prize, is a silver bowl awarded annually to the senior who, in the judgment of the students' classmates, has done the most for the class. Founded in 1949 in memory of W. Sanderson Detweiler, class of 1902, by his sister, Mrs. William Jennings Price. This year, the winner of both the 1901 medal and the W. Sanderson Detweiler Prize is Alex Rosen. Bro. A big surprise. An economics major with certificates in global health and health policy, Alex is a native of Allentown, PA. To say that with his leadership of and dedication to your class, he has left an indelible mark on this university would be a great understatement. As president of your class for the past 4 years, Alex has led a loyal corps of your class officers who worked closely and effectively to promote class unity. On his watch, your class enjoyed an amazing array of successful activities. A freshman dodgeball tournament in which your class fielded 19 teams. An incredibly successful class formal, also during your freshman year, with, I'm told, a record of 777 attendees. The Ben Folds concert, the John Oliver Comedy Show, senior class pub nights at Winberry's, Triumph, and the Art Museum. One can't forget the Class of 2011 Community Service Initiative or the Victory Lap. And we certainly can't forget the launch of what is sure to be a new Princeton tradition, the Challenge Coin. I'm sure in the years to come we will be seeing the Challenge Coin at many Princeton weddings, reunions, and other social activities where Princetonians find themselves gathered together. Alex's service to the university at large has been just as extraordinary. Among his many contributions is his 4-year term on the Honor Committee, where he brought a thoughtful and judicious approach to his role as chair. For 2 years, Alex has served as an exemplary RCA in Whitman College, advising and supporting freshmen in their transition to college life. And he has held numerous leadership positions within the U Council, Business Today, and the Pre-Medical Society. But I think we can all agree that perhaps Alex's greatest service to this university was his winning a bet that resulted in his Harvard counterpart slinking around Cambridge, Massachusetts all day long in a Princeton sweatshirt following our basketball team's victory last winter. Thank you, Alex, for all of your hard work and for all you have contributed to your class and to this university. Congratulations and best wishes.
Our first student speaker, who, as you just saw, has become our newest university philanthropist, hails from Dover, Massachusetts, and is a molecular biology concentrator. Despite that fact, he still manages to have a sense of humor. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Dan Maselli.
Hi, guys. Congratulations, guys. All right, Princeton, I have a confession. In my time spent at this illustrious university, I have read, cover to cover, one book. Shocking, I know, especially to me, as it was one more book than I thought I would read here. But my med school applications started to ask about sophisticated things, and I didn't want to seem unliterate. The book was called The Zombie Survival Guide. In this timeless classic, author Max Brooks provides some useful tips for coping with the zombie apocalypse. For instance, an effective defense move for close combat is to bash a zombie on the head with a low-grade, dull object that lacks any sharp points. I'll be using my senior thesis. But, yeah, you got that one in there. But most foreboding is that, according to this trustworthy piece of scientific fact, zombies might, in time, wipe out all human existence. There'd be nothing about any of us left behind. And that's how I feel about my time at Princeton right now. Once we walk out of those protective Fitz-Randolph gates, there's no turning back. We will leave this bustling metropolis of pea coats, ice cream vendors, and people who use summer as a verb. And we'll enter a new world that plays by different rules. One where, fortunately, your worth will no longer be measured by your GPA, but something far less shallow and superficial, like your kids' GPAs. Some of us will join the masses of the employed, and many will do what we really should do in a zombie attack: hide out in our parents' basement for a while till things look better. As terrifying as that real world is, I imagine you are all as scared as I am of this cherished Princeton world continuing on without us. Indeed, Princeton has made such a mark on us that we can only hope to have made our own mark on it. In our own ways, I'm sure we all have. Somewhere in my thesis lab, there's a rather large mark from when I spilled concentrated hydrochloric acid. Dr. Flint, if you're here, I still say it gives the lab more character. Okay, after I expressed my fears of moving on from a place I loved so dearly, my grandma, in her infinite wheel of fortune acquired wisdom, gave me some advice. She said, "When it comes to looking back on the past, you should glance back, but never stare." I see. So the past is like boobs. Sorry, Mom. Okay, and if so, then occasions like this where we glorify the past are like the push-up bra. I think this analogy works especially well for Princeton, because a push-up bra, true to the spirit of grade deflation, also makes A's appear rare. Okay. When we do glance back, we shouldn't be too hard on ourselves. After all, hindsight is 20/20. Well, except probably for people with glasses, unless you study in Marquand Art and Archaeology Library, because I'm pretty sure your glasses aren't real. Perfect vision or not, it's pretty easy to feel like you might be yesterday's Daily Prince article after you graduate. Many seniors are being acknowledged today for their remarkable abilities, and rightfully so. Kappa snaps to you. But even if I didn't win an award, I know that you know what? It'll be so awkward right now. It's so embarrassing. If you presented me with an award, President Tillman, I'd be so mortified right now. Just no. It's just that the rest of this is an acceptance speech. So that's actually no, it's fine. It's fine. Let's just you know what? Let's take the Princeton frat approach, President Tillman. You don't acknowledge my existence, and I'll still think I'm really cool. Okay. Despite my table for one at the all-you-can-eat mediocrity buffet, I might just be so bold as to say you don't have to have your name carved onto a building or win an award. No, still no. Fine. To have made your mark on this campus. See, at Princeton, every time you passed someone and smiled or waved or pretended to be texting, every pang of survivor's guilt felt from not having to live in Forbes, every silent rebellion waged when writing the honor of honor code with a U, every NCAA Super Bowl sports thingy played in, concert attended, Prince article commented on, delicious Frisk pizza eaten, salmonella-infected Frisk salad regurgitated. Everything you did has made its mark by making Princeton what it was for us during our 4 years here. In my push-up bra of nostalgia, I wish I could defer my graduation. I think this is fair, since when I first applied through early decision, Princeton deferred my acceptance. While the news did have me rolling around on the floor in fits of unflattering self-pity, this was, of course, great practice for my life at Princeton. But, I eventually wormed my way in here. Afterwards, I thought the hardest part about Princeton would be getting in. But the hardest part is getting out. I love it here. I will miss my classmates, and I don't want to be far from you. Especially because a few of you still owe me money, and I know who you are. Actually, I do know who you are, many of you, anyway, and I'm very lucky to be able to say that. Only a group so remarkable could bolster my spirits after finding out freshman year that the Harry Potter guy wasn't going to attend Princeton after all. Just goes to show you, don't believe everything you read. Which reminds me of a book I read, one about the very real threat posed by a zombie apocalypse. Well, if a zombie horde had ever charged at these gates with all the sights, sounds, and smells of a TI Viking night, I would be thankful that I'd be fighting to survive this living dead onslaught with all of my Princeton classmates. Or at least 93% of them, since obviously Woody Woo majors would get eaten after starting a zombie diplomacy task force. I'd be thankful because you are all stupendous, unique, compassionate, award-winning, talented, musical, athletic, upstanding, gifted, charming, attractive, and marvelous human beings. But also because most of you are much smarter than me, and zombies go after brains. Thank you.
Okay. Here to present the Priscilla Glickman 92 Memorial Prize are Director of the Student Volunteers Council, Dave Brown, and Director of Community House, and my boss, Marjorie Young.
Good afternoon. Very tough act to follow. Whether in a small country in a developing world or a local neighborhood in the university's backyard, you have used your diverse talents and experiences to help others in need. Through the many civic engagement opportunities sponsored by the Pace Center for Civic Engagement and other organizations on our campus, you have worked on projects that are focused on advancing education and have created many innovative solutions. Many of you have used your educational backgrounds to participate in internships and fellowships that enabled you to explore the world's most dynamic inequities, while others have channeled your passions into battling the causes of climate change and establishing environmental volunteer organizations. On average, members of your class have spent 650 hours per week involved in civic engagement activities. We are in awe and we salute your efforts. Give yourselves a round of applause.
The Priscilla Glickman Class of 92 Memorial Prize is awarded to the senior who has not only shown an extraordinary dedication to the service of others, which so very many of you have, but who has done so with a bold passion, an open curiosity, and with a style that transcends the usual boundaries that keep people apart. This year's award goes to Brian Lacasia. Brian? From working alongside community organizers in Chicago and Detroit to directing a youth orchestra in Bolivia, from tutoring inmates at the Garden State Prison to tutoring school kids in LA and New York, Brian has pursued his passion for building strong communities and serving others throughout his years at Princeton, inspiring many of you to do the same. Brian's steady, thoughtful leadership has been integral to the growth of Breakout Princeton on campus, even as he has carried all that's best about Princeton: a bold spirit, a critical intelligence, an open mind, and a compassionate sensibility to many communities outside the gates. Along the way, in classrooms, church basements, prisons, and even an impound lot, he's shown a respect, humility, and humor that brings people together. Brian, your dedication to learning about how communities work and then working to make them better has been and continues to be a model for many. Congratulations.
He's always stealing my lines. As you leave Princeton, we bid you farewell. We hope you will come back often to share with us the many ways that you will continue to build upon the civic engagement work that you have started here, as you carry your commitment to making a difference in the world and always choosing to be a part of the solution. Good luck.
Here to present our athletic awards is the Director of Athletics and member of the great class of 1967, Gary Walters.
Thank you very much, and good morning. I'm here to represent the sweatiest of the liberal arts at Princeton. And indeed, that's probably a good metaphor for today. Through the years, Princeton has been the premier athletic program in the Ivy League. President Tillman herself has stated, "I always believe that Princeton is the gold standard when it comes to athletic achievement in an academic setting in the United States." President Tillman, the class of 2011, has indeed played its role as gold standard bearers. We previously honored our award winners at our annual Princeton Varsity Club senior banquet on Thursday night. So as a time saver, I'll give you the Cliff Notes version of that celebratory evening. This past academic year, Princeton made athletic history by winning 15 Ivy League championships, the most ever achieved by an Ivy League school since the league's formation in 1956. In your 4 years, the class of 2011 combined to win 48 Ivy League championships, 22 more than the next highest total by a league school in that same time period. In your 4 years, of the 38 Princeton teams, 29 won at least one league championship, and 31 teams, 31 competed in national championship competition. Two teams, the field hockey team and the women's cross country team, won the Ivy League championship all 4 years. Princeton also extended its streaks of having won the Ivy League's unofficial all-sports points championships to 25 years, and of having at least one team or individual national championship to 40 years, culminating yesterday with the women's first varsity open crew winning the NCAA gold medal and national championship held in Sacramento. Members of that gold medal team just arrived on the red eye from Sacramento, and they are over here to my left. Would you please rise, those of you who are members of that team? Thank you. Added up, and the class of 2011 can take its rightful place in the outstanding tradition that is Princeton athletics. Now for the award winners, and I shall be brief. Would everyone please come forward? The class of 1916 Cup is awarded to the varsity letter winner who, continuing a competition and in his or her senior year, achieved at graduation the highest academic standing. It was given by the class of 1916 on the occasion of its 50th reunion. This year's winner is Robert Marsland III, Bobby, who is a physics major from Madison, Wisconsin, and a member of the sprint football team. Bobby Marsland. Our next award is the Art Lane Award, named after one of Princeton's scholar-athlete icons, Art Lane of the class of 1934 and winner of the Pine Prize, who captained the 1933 Princeton football team to the national championship before going on to a distinguished career as a naval officer, a federal judge, and a corporate general counsel. This award is given to honor selfless contribution to sport and to society. This year, we have 4 Lane winners, all of whose time here at Princeton has seen them balance schoolwork and athletics while also distinguishing themselves by participating in numerous and significant service-oriented activities. Please come forward. Peter Callahan. Peter, who played on this year's undefeated Ivy League soccer team, and was the winner of the prestigious 2011 Robbie Meislich Award. Peter Callahan. Congratulations, Peter. Jennifer King. Jen was a starting goalie on 3 Ivy League championship field hockey teams and is a winner also of the prestigious Spirit of Princeton Award. Jen. John Stojan. The first Princeton fencer to advance to the NCAA championships in all 4 years as a saberist. John. And Lauren Sikora, who has helped the women's lightweight rowing program to a perfect regular season so far this year. Lauren. Ladies and gentlemen, our 2011 Art Lane Award winners Pete Callahan, Jennifer King, John Stojan, and Lauren Sikora. Congratulations all. Our next award is the prestigious William Winston Roper Trophy. That goes annually to a Princeton senior male of high scholastic rank and the outstanding qualities of sportsmanship and general proficiency in athletics in honor of Princeton's famed football coach, Bill Roper. It has been awarded annually since 1936. This year we have 5 winners. Mark Amirault, a 4-time individual and 6-time Ivy team champ in cross country and track and field. Mark Amirault. Taylor Fadoon, the 7th Princetonian to achieve All-America honors in hockey. Taylor. Kareem Maddox, the Ivy League Defensive Player of the Year in 2011, who led the men's basketball team to its league record 26th Ivy League championship. Kareem. Congratulations, Kareem. Robin Prendez. Robin's the stroke in the lightweight boat that have won 2 Eastern and 2 national championships thus far. Robin. And last, Josh Walburn, a 2-time first-team All-Ivy pick who helped the men's soccer team to back-to-back NCAA appearances and the first undefeated Ivy League season in Princeton program history. Josh Walburn. Ladies and gentlemen, our 2011 Roper Award winners, Mark Amirault, Taylor Fadoon, Kareem Maddox, Robin Prendez, and Josh Walburn. Congratulations. The C. Otto von Kingbush Award, that's a mouthful every year, is the highest female student athlete award at Princeton. A famed art collector, Mr. von Kingbush, was the first major donor to endow women's athletics at Princeton. This year, we also have 5 winners to balance out the men. Sarah Cummings, a member of 9 Ivy League team championships in cross country, track, and field, and was a mainstay on 2 NCAA nationally ranked 5th place cross country teams and a 4-time Ivy League, individual Ivy League champion. Sarah. Ashley Higginson, also a member of 9 Ivy League championship teams in cross country and track and field, as well as an All-American in 2 events, and an 8-time Ivy League individual champion, Ashley. Addie Messier, A unanimous 2011 Ivy League Player of the Year in women's basketball, who helped Princeton to a 27-1 Ivy League record and 2 Ivy League titles and NCAA appearances in her junior and senior years. Addie. Megan Waters. It's an appropriate name for a swimmer. Megan, the holder of 3 university swimming records in the 50 free, the 100 free, and the 100 fly, and a 7-time Ivy League champion. Megan. And Lauren Wilkinson. Lauren literally just arrived here, having gotten off the plane, at Kennedy Airport and JFK, and anyhow, rushing down here, hopefully not too fast. Lauren rode in the stroke position on this year's undefeated Ivy League and 2011 NCAA National Championship Women's Open First Varsity 8. Lauren. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2011 Seattle Von Keenbush Award winners, Sarah Cummings, Ashley Higginson, Addie Messier, Megan Waters, and Lauren Wilkinson. Is Jordan Culbreth here? Is Jordan Culbreth here? If so, would you please stand? Yeah, keep standing. Keep standing, Jordan. No Princeton athletic recognition would be complete without mentioning the name Jordan Culbreth, winner of the Princeton Varsity Club's Award of Valor. Jordan, as you know, battled through a rare and potentially fatal blood disease to return to the football team this year and lead the team in rushing. He was recently featured in a documentary named Running Through, and he has earned national recognition for his courage and humility in the face of such a grave diagnosis. Jordan has been a true profile in courage and an inspiration to all at Princeton and elsewhere. Jordan, congratulations, best wishes, and good health. And then, finally, just a shout out to Joey Cheek. Joey, are you here? Where's Joey? Uh-oh. Well, anyhow, as you know, Joey's in the class of 2011, was an Olympic gold medal winner in 2006, having won the 500-meter sprint ice skating championship in Turin. So Joey's another great member of your class. Congrats to all of our class honorees today. Happy trails, go Tigers, and I salute the great class of 2011. Thank you very much.
I think it's about time for another student speaker, don't you? Yeah. This next one is a comparative literature major who hails from Short Hills, New Jersey. Please welcome Christina Luzaraga.
Class Day. Today is Class Day. A day to honor our graduating class and not, as I have been informed, a communist holiday to celebrate the dismantling of the bourgeoisie. I was confused by this distinction and initially wrote a speech calling for a proletariat uprising. The gist of it was that we would rally together to conquer grade inflation and the lack of late meal on weekends. Then, with our fists in the air, we'd chant Old Nassau and storm the Forbes edition that, for some reason, still exists. Dean John put the kibosh on that idea. Apparently, parents don't like to be reminded that Princeton costs money. Fair amount, actually. And it's considered controversial to call early morning Frisk pizza the opiate of the masses. Although, think about it, it's too good. There must be opium in the cheese. At first, I was disappointed. If not from this platform, where can I preach my neo-Marxist thoughts on the Bicker system? The Prince online comment section, as it turns out. Or Princeton FML, both good options. But when I got to thinking about it, Princeton is actually, in many ways, very egalitarian and, dare I say it, socialist. Take laundry, for instance. It's free. Free. Just like the pizza from Frisk that I swipe on my procs and gets billed to the taxpayers. I mean my parents. But the welfare state benefits don't stop there. No. Heaven forfend that we should idle in the laundry room. At our school, the washing machines send us a text message when they finish their spin cycle. Before you ask, yes, you can drunkenly sext message a washing machine. Case in point, actually, the transcript of a conversation I had with Pine Hall's washing machine number 6 at 4:30 a.m. on a Friday. Hey, baby, what you wearing? A gym sock, a free t-shirt, and a comforter I spilled barbecue sauce on, put inside of you, forgot about, and left for hours on end to mildew? Sexy. Are you sudsy right now? Bing! Error, this message does not contain the properly formatted code. Oh, washing machine number 6, you are such a tease. It is a privilege to live in a place where appliances have the power of text and the agency to deny my sexual advances. Yet, having become accustomed to such splendor, I wonder, what will I do next year when I'm living at home and my parents' toaster is done toasting? Will I have to wait in the kitchen and turn my head slightly in order to verify that the bread is popped out? What am I, an animal? No. To answer my own question, I'm a human. To answer your neighbor's question, who is this girl and why is she still talking? Hi. You may remember me from Precept, where I misused the word dichotomy and nervously chewed a pen until it dribbled down my cheek. Or you might know me from that time I tripped down the Frisk Gallery stairs at 3 a.m. while sober and then screamed, "I'm sober!" Or, hey, you may have never seen me before. It's quite possible that we just didn't cross paths. On that note, it would be impossible to befriend everyone in our class. I know, because I'm still waiting for some of you to accept my friend requests. TikTok, okay. Among a cast of hundreds, we carve niches for ourselves through our respective a cappella groups, dance troupes, and Communist Party chapters. But being as I'm a poor singer, dancer, and comrade, I struggled at first to find where I belonged. True story, I didn't grow a personality until junior year. As a freshman, I communicated with strangers mostly by smiling and nodding my head. As a sophomore, I branched out and started talking, but mostly just to say stuff like, "Oh, cool," and "Me too." And somehow, through some miracle, by the time I became a senior, I was able to confess a washing machine fetish in front of thousands of people. I've come so far. What happened? Well, I made friends with some amazing people. I chose a major. I studied abroad. I got a better haircut. We each have our own stories of personal growth. You became an expert in some form of pan-ethnic dance. I learned how to sway non-committally in the corner of an eating club. You spent countless hours mastering computational physics. I became really talented at removing food stains from bed linens. Washing machine number 6. But despite these differences, most of us follow the same general trajectory. We arrived here as awkward nerds and are leaving as relatively less awkward nerds. Athletes, don't worry. According to a recent email, this doesn't apply to you. In all cases, our evolution involved the nurturing of new talents and passions. More to the point, many of us discovered binge drinking and sex. Hi, Mom. Not me, so. Believe it or not, though, sometimes these passions were also curricular in nature. Embracing my love of the arts, I chose to major in comparative literature. On job interviews, I'm often asked, what is comparative literature? And eyesight means that if you put a book in each of my hands, I can compare for you which one is heavier. For example, Moby Dick, heavier than Goodnight Moon. Fact. Then the interviewer asks if I'm kidding, and I say, I don't know, am I? Did I mention that I'm unemployed? Yeah, my future's pretty uncertain. I worry about what's to come. In the real world, pizza costs money. Not prox money, real money. I will no doubt miss Princeton's creature comforts, yet I have faith that I can do without. After all, I lived years without self-confidence. Okay. If the friendships I made here were the chief catalysts for overcoming my shyness, and I believe that they were, then surely those same friendships can also sustain me during lean times. With good friends, who needs pizza subsidized by your parents? Better yet, who needs laundry? Class of 2011, when it comes to being hungry, smelly, and jobless, there's no one whose company I'd prefer to keep. Maybe we didn't get to know each other while we were here. Doesn't matter. If you see me on a street corner counting pennies to pay for some Papa John's, say hello, and we'll share a pie. You'll have to chip in, obviously, because, No, you know what? Never mind. This one's on me. Congratulations, class.
Every year, the graduating class presents honorary class memberships to people who, as nominated by the class, have truly made our Princeton experiences amazing and memorable. To start the presentations of the 2011 honorary class members, please welcome our class vice president, Michael Pearl.
Thank you, Nikhil. I'm very proud to present Professor Ed Zhao as our first honorary class member. Professor Zhao, please join me on the stage. Professor Zhao has led a distinguished career in business, public policy, and academia. His class, ELE 491, High Tech Entrepreneurship, was voted by our class as one of the best that Princeton has to offer. Professor Zhao's enthusiasm for teaching and passion for entrepreneurship has inspired many hundreds of Princeton graduates during his tenure here. Because of your remarkable efforts, Princeton's entrepreneurship program is flourishing. Thank you so much for all you have given us and for enriching our Princeton experience with your spirit and energy. It is my pleasure to present you with a class jacket, an honorary class membership degree. Please join me in welcoming Professor Zhao to the great class of 2011.
Hello, my name is EJ Chi, and it has been an honor to serve as your social chair for the past 4 years. I would like to ask Dean Paul Rauschenbusch to come to the stage. As the Associate Dean of Religious Life since 2002, Dean Paul, as he is better known, prioritized the strengthening of the interfaith community on campus. By encouraging students to discuss their different religious and political views, he has enlightened countless Princetonians to reflect on their beliefs in the scope of a larger, diverse society. For his adventurous spirit, sunny attitude, and commitment to the well-being of all students, I am proud to designate Paul Rauschenbusch as an honorary member of the class of 2001. Congratulations.
Hello, seniors. My name is Shayna Lee, and I have had a blast serving as your class secretary the past 4 years. I would now like to invite Tony Cifelli to the stage. Within only a couple years after entering Princeton as a janitor at Brown Hall, Tony was promoted to the position of supervisor of Forbes College and Whitman College, on top of a number of upperclassmen dormitories. Many of us and many alumni this past weekend distinctly remember Tony for his dedication to quality improvement for the student body. Tony, thank you so much for being the enthusiastic connection between the senior class and building services. From tackling leaky sinks to the massive sidewalk puddles, we would not have gotten through these 4 years without you. Seniors, please join me in welcoming Tony Cifelli to the class of 2011.
My name is Jonathan Gary, and I've had the pleasure of serving as your class treasurer. I would now like to invite Professor Jeff Nunakawa to the stage. We all know him as both a professor of English and the master of Rockefeller College. However, we also know him as the Red Bull drinking, workaholic, smiling face that we see all over campus. Jeff exudes a special level of enthusiasm for all those around him, and his presence is not only felt on campus, but also through his prolific writings on Facebook. My peers and I would like to recognize Jeff for his gifts as a brilliant teacher, thinker, and friend who became master of Rockefeller College our freshman year. Jeff, welcome to the class of 2011.
And now, what you've all been waiting for, the keynote speaker. You know her from her Calvin Klein commercials, from her extensive film, television, and theater career, and for her lush, perfectly shaped, almost magical eyebrows. You may know that she went to Princeton. She was a member of Triangle Club. Yeah, and she graduated with honors. She wrote a thesis titled The Initiation, From Innocence to Experience, the pre-adolescent/adolescent journey in the films of Louis Malle, Pretty Baby, and La Comme Lucienne. She was in Pretty Baby, which means that she technically started her thesis research when she was 12. It is my honor to present the 2011 Class Day speaker, Brooke Shields.
Wow. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Kristen. Thank you, everyone, for having me. This is extraordinary. Good morning. To those of you who haven't yet gone to sleep, how's that working out for you? All right. 24 years ago, I was sitting right out there where you sit today, and I was wearing this exact signed, decorated orange and black jacket, and it had the class of '87 painted all over it. My hair was huge, my Reeboks white, my jeans acid washed. You were not even born. It actually feels like yesterday, and I'm having some of the same feelings right now that I did on that very day. Excitement, nausea, looking forward to the future, and just wanting to say something smart. The letter, actually, that I got asking me to be this year's class speaker was very much like my Princeton acceptance letter. I got it on April 1st, so I naturally thought it was an April Fool's joke. I put it aside, I reread it, I felt the embossed letterhead. Maybe I should just double check. I had my mom call to confirm. It was real. They both were real. Well, immediately I felt like I had gotten accepted to Princeton all over again. I had been accepted. I don't have to go to Harvard. And then just as quickly, the sickness and the severe doubt sets in. What if they made a mistake? What if I fail? Was I their first choice? Who couldn't they get? Why did Snooki pass? Which quickly then gave to the realization, oh shit, I have to write a speech. I've got an assignment, no way. When is it due? Will I be graded? Can it be pass, fail? But wait. I graduated from Princeton with honors. All right, it was French lit, but who cares? It's still a degree. I can do this. So I realized that the best thing to do was to get my head back in the game. So where could I find peace and quiet to write a speech? What about my old Carol in the bowels of Firestone on B floor? Yep, would it still be the quiet, cluttered, slightly musty home away from dorm? Well, in any event, I'd need to get out my highlighters and my red markers and my note cards. I'd have to call my boyfriend, Dean Kane, and tell him I couldn't see him. We haven't dated in 20 years, but whatever. I'd have to put on the freshman 40. Yes, back in my day, it was 40. I'd have to hit Thomas Sweets and get to writing. Now, I have done a great deal of public speaking. I have survived large crowds, small groups, kids, adults and their pets, soldiers, different languages, 2 husbands, 2 daughters, same husband, a dog. Nothing could rattle me except coming here and speaking to all of you. And why? Because you are some smart people. All right, so my version of, I was also a virgin while I was here. No more. Spellman, somewhere. Okay. A cap and gowner, too. Not T.I., although I did date T.I. guys, too. Okay. My version of how this would go, I would come up to the podium, I would try to speak, and then I would throw up. Thankfully, I have yet to puke on my old jacket, and I wish I could say that I showed the same restraint during sign-ins for cap and gown. Just the mention of a Boilermaker makes me dry heave. I can still drink them, I just don't like the word. Anyway, it is because of the love, awe, respect, and gratitude that I have for this institution that I feel like it is so precious to be standing here. I'm honored to have been invited today. And I have such admiration for all of you and for all of those of you who helped you all reach this extraordinary moment in your lives. And it is extraordinary. Tomorrow is your commencement, your beginning, and truly a triumph. And time is about to accelerate for all of you at a pace that you cannot even imagine. When you leave the coveted safety of the orange bubble, you will no longer have a syllabus to follow. You will no longer have an advisor to consult. You actually may never be this protected again. How exciting. You'll spill out here, untethered, unguided, and unstoppable. You will leave here to do the same thing all of us have done before you. Make mistakes. Grow. Make mistakes. Learn. Grow some more. Make fewer mistakes. But let's focus on now. I know that the next 24 hours are a big time, and there's awards to be given out, activities to enjoy, tearful promises to be made, and beer to be consumed. But at this immediate moment, I'd like to ask you to do me a little favor. Just for a quick and resonant second, I'd like you to all really revel in the fact that you did it. Now, I will never forget the day that my high school advisor told me that I probably would not even get into Princeton, let alone graduate. Well, I did, and you did. I know it's a bit corny, and the Ivy League does, pride itself on not being corny. However, I'd like so much. I was so quick to rush during this moment, during my own class day, and move on, that I really do wish someone would have stood up here and would have told me to just take in the magnitude of my achievement. So I want you to just think it, whisper it to yourselves or to the person next to you, that you did it. I did it. enjoy that truth, please. Right now, I want to see heads turning. Okay? It is so easy to get caught up when the simple and quiet truth is what carries the most weight. You're graduating from Princeton University. All right, you did. You survived. You didn't think you could at times. You survived. And whether it was your idea or not, you're here today. Through all of the hard work, the fear, the anger, the laughter, the tears, the fatigue, the adrenaline, the weight gain, the weight loss, the joy, the sadness, the feelings of success, the threat of failure, the love, the excitement, and the fun. And that was all just during Nude Olympics. What? What? It's over? What, you've outlawed it? Are you kidding me? Oh, wow. Wow. Okay, this is one of those moments I'm never going to forget. This is awkward because I'm nude under my jacket. I thought that after we would... Okay, no, it's all right. never mind, right? I mean, I'm just going to continue on. I'm okay. I'm cool, but okay. Seriously, you have all oined. Oh my God, now I'm starting to sound Jersey. You've oined it, let me tell you. You have all earned being here. You have all shared so much with those of you around you, and you will continue to do so, I guarantee. You have worked hard. Now, some of you have worked harder than others. But you still all get the rare moniker of Princeton University graduate. And that can never be taken away from you for the rest of your life. And also for the rest of your life, it will rarely not precede you. But it should also never be disrespected or misused. I mean, when you meet someone who went to school here, it usually takes them all but about 5 seconds to remind you that they graduated from Princeton University. I get it. It is a calling card, and it can and will open doors. But its definition does not come up as entitlement. Please maintain the proper regard for it and use it wisely for good. Respect the word Princeton. It's an impressive word to see in print, on resumes, the back of a book, a plaque. Less so in a police report, page 6, screamed outside of Hooters or tattooed on your ass during spring break. I left after my 4 years with great memories and great stories. And that's one of the unique ties that bonds us. Great stories, our experiences, the commonalities that we all share. Like when your entire academic record gets printed in Life magazine. Huh? Right? Huh? Or when Japan's Royal Prince Hirohito wants to meet you and the dean comes and gets you out of a midterm and asks you to go to Prospect House and welcome the prince to campus. Huh? Isn't that crazy, right? Huh? Or even better, when George Michael tells you he's not going to date you anymore because he wants to focus on his solo career, then you find out he's gay, right? I mean, these were moments we all shared. We all experienced it. My God, we will laugh. Oh, 1987, how we will miss you. This university does not just teach you about subjects. It teaches you how to have independent thought. It teaches you how to take direction and give it, how to engage in heated debate, sometimes over such important subjects as to bonfire or not to bonfire. Or, if it's really possible, to actually get through 4 years of Princeton without doing laundry, if you only wear the free t-shirts that the student agencies provide. Serious subjects. Over the past 4 years, and I really do hope it was 4 years because this place gets expensive, you have learned much. You've learned how to form your own opinions and support them. You've learned how to speak. More importantly, you've learned how to listen. You learned to persevere when you considered quitting. You learned how to think. You gained an intellectual foundation that really will aid you in the real world. You're leaving here not so much changed, but rather revealed. The education that you've received was intended to develop your character and teach you the imperative of integrity. My time spent here was a huge gift, not only because of the education, but because of the complicated and beautiful friendships that I made and I still rely on today. My days here were as conventional and normal as I could have ever hoped, and that was because of my peers. Okay, yeah, the Inquirer did try to get nude photos of me in my Maddie College shower, but the students protected me. Today, after 2 kids, I'd pay somebody just to want nude pictures of me. There was that time that my roommate hung my Brooke doll from a noose in the dorm room in place of mistletoe. Well, it serves me right to have okayed a Barbie in my likeness and thinking that it would never come back to haunt me. The 80s. But loyalty is what I always got, and loyalty is what you get. And that loyalty and that allegiance never diminishes. I left Princeton realizing that learning is a lifelong enterprise. I also graduated more confident and more proud of myself than I had ever been. I was quite lucky to have had a career in place upon graduating. And when I re-entered that career, I thought I would be welcomed back with open arms. Because now I was not only an actress, but I was an actress with an education. Well, evidently that is not a quality that studios and producers deem primary for their talent. I had actually lost all of my footing in those 4 years here and in their eyes, and I had to earn my way back inside. That's another speech altogether. I'll be giving it tonight at Winbury's. About 4 beers in, it's going to get ugly, but worth it, I promise. My point is, while I was losing footing, I was gaining the most important footing of my life. And without the 4 years of learning and growth that culminated in my degree, I would have never survived my industry. A business that predicates itself on eating its young. I would have become a cliche. I would never have been able to adapt or reinvent from movies to television to stage to author to mom. I've been lucky, but only because I worked hard. And I had the same strong foundation that each of you carries today. Being an actress, I have to say, is a lot like having to go through bicker on a daily basis. And I do believe that all industries are like that. I've always had to prove myself. Today, you have proven yourself, but you will need to continue to prove yourself. Once you graduate, there will be no guarantees. And even if you work your ass off, you will rarely get what you think you want or deserve. Things will rarely go as you direct. You will, however, get what you are meant to. And because you now have much of what it takes to succeed, you will soar. But you must choose to do so. And success, I do believe, comes in a myriad of packages and with various different wrappings. So please continue to aim high and strive for your best, but learn to embrace and revel in your unique successes. Compare not to others. I know this is going to be very difficult, but it will be valuable, I promise. I want you to acknowledge not only what you've been given, but what you gave to this university and what you will be called upon to do outside these walls. Your diploma is a passport into the next phase of your lives. Many of you do know exactly what you want, and when you leave, and many of you are not clear at all. One path is not necessarily better than the other. It's okay to not know exactly what you want. Knowing that you're now equipped to choose wisely should ease the anxiety. But I always think a little anxiety is a good thing. It kind of keeps us on our toes. Please use it to motivate, not inhibit. There are a multitude of options and paths in your future. Please choose because of undeniable desire. Don't make choices because you should, but because you could. Choose because of enthusiasm and passion. Just ask yourself, what will your example be? What do you want your life to look like? How will you choose to carry yourself? Please don't act lazy or entitled. Continue to work hard, but please take breaks to be with those you love and enjoy the simple things in life. There's a poem called The Dash by Linda Ellis. Stop me or just start throwing things at me. I'm almost done. If you've heard it already, but there's a man at a memorial service of a friend, and he comments that the fact that when someone dies, 2 dates are always noted. The date of birth and the date of death. But what he was struck by is the dash in between those 2 dates. That dash is what holds our worth. That poem reminds us that what matters is how we spend that dash. You are all really beginning your dash, and as you do, I urge you many things. I urge you to surround yourself with good and truthful people. It'll make your life greater and you'll save you a lot of money on therapy. I urge you not to let fear inhibit you. I certainly would not be standing here today if I did. I urge you to always stretch beyond your comfort zone. See above. I beg you never to settle for less because of your, or more importantly, others' doubts. I've had great reviews, and I have heard that I've had bad ones. The bad ones aren't worth reading. I remember not getting into the Tiger Lilies. I tried out, I tried hard, I gave it my best shot, and I did not get in. I was devastated. And although I never tried out for the Tiger Lilies again, it did not deter me from singing. This year, I'm about to return to star on Broadway in a musical for the 5th time. Thank you, Triangle. I don't really know if that has any relevance. I just wanted to let the Tiger Lilies know what's going on with me. Define your own boundaries. You are less likely to trespass. Mistakes, mistakes, mistakes. Fix it, fix it, fix it. I urge you to remain present. I urge you to value your own time, but not regard it as more important than someone else's. I urge you not to equate vulnerability with weakness. Laugh, cry, laugh a little more. And don't ever take yourselves too seriously. I urge you to love fully and deeply and allow yourself to be loved the same. It is possible, I promise, to hold both a good job and be loved and to love. Trust me. I urge you to do it all. I've spent the last couple of days here walking around. I've been talking to some of the guys I've met, some very interesting people, some amazing students. I've learned some interesting new things. Tonight, several graduates generously invited me to Terrace Club to go robo-tripping with a date who looks just like Christopher Walken. It sounds like fun. You know, I'm a Princeton grad. I like to travel. I like new things. I sat with a few students, and we talked about different graduates, different groups, and they pointed to different groups, and they said, bankers, those are over there. They're all waiting to get that Goldman Sachs job. They called them a bunch of tools. They use that word a lot. There's another group over there wanting to go into politics and are real protective of their reps. A bunch of tools. And over there, all those people, they live in Tool Tower. People who graduate and then go out just to make money. Tools. Tools. All of them, a bunch of tools. So it got me thinking. In the 4 years that you spent applying yourselves, studying, learning, we've made the world bleak. We've broken our economy. We've voted in politicians who are so fundamentally far apart on issues that hope and change are not happening. We need help. We need you. We need you to fix what we broke. And so I say this with the utmost respect. You are all a bunch of tools. Yes, Brooke Shields is calling the entire graduating class of 2011 a bunch of tools. You are tools that we need to fix this country. So go out, be bankers, be politicians, be scientists, be artists, be thinkers, but you need to choose what kind of tool you want to be. When you're forced in a corner, when options are few and desperation kicks in, heroes are made. Forge ahead, make change responsibly, and remember that there is a world behind you. I applaud you. Thank you and God bless.
Ms. Shields, on behalf of the class of 2011, I want to thank you for sharing with us your stories and your wisdom. You are truly an inspiration to all of us. And now, I'd like to take this opportunity to give you what is undoubtedly the most glamorous piece of clothing you have ever worn, your 2011 beer jacket.
I'm not nude.
With this jacket, we bestow upon you honorary membership to the great class of 2011. Welcome.
One more thing. Miss Shields' birthday is tomorrow. So, as a special surprise, please join us in singing and wishing her a very happy birthday.
Now, we have a couple of important announcements. First, seniors, you can pick up your boxed lunches on Alexander Beach at the conclusion of this ceremony for yourself and your guests. And second, your wristbands for the prom are available between Wig and Clio, and now I'm going to look like an airport conductor. So Alexander Beach for lunches and Wig and Clio for wristbands. Thank you.
And now, a group of our a cappella classmates will lead us in singing Old Nassau. Please stand.
Play that George Michael song.
We conclude by offering our thanks to those who have supported us during our time here. To the facilities, grounds, dining services, administrators, and other university staff, thank you for making this day and our entire Princeton experience possible. To our friends, classmates, professors, and most of all, our parents and families, we thank you and we love you. It's been an honor for us to serve as your Class Day chairs. Thank you once again, and let's go out with a bang tonight.
A plastic bag drifting through the wind, wanting to start again. Do you ever feel so paper thin, like a house of cards, one blow from caving in? Do you ever feel already buried deep, 6 feet under screens, but no one seems to hear a thing? Do you know that there's still a chance for you, 'cause there's a spark in you. You just gotta ignite the light and let it shine. Just own the night like the 4th of July. 'Cause baby, you're a firework. Come on, show 'em what you work. Make 'em go as you shoot across the sky. face. You're original, cannot be replaced. If you only knew what the future holds. After a hurricane comes a rainbow.